Good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to make this long story really short because I want to get this video uploaded before I leave in a little while. Thursday, me and Wayne were going to run errands, pay our electric bill and stuff, and we're driving down the road. We haven't been gone 3 minutes. The phone rings, his cell phone, and it's a woman from the Transplant Center, and she says that they think they have a kidney for him and that they will be getting back in touch with us in the afternoon to keep the phone handy. So we went and paid our bill, and we got home, and we were going to make a dry run to the hospital just to make sure we knew where we could go because it's an hour away from here, and it's huge. It's a huge hospital. And so we came home. I made a fast lunch, and we were getting ready to leave. And Rainey came. She was going to ride with us. And we get ready to walk out the door, and they called. And they said, "We've got a room. We want you here." So instead of making a dry run, we were making a real one. And he had already packed a little bag, so that was handy. And we grabbed a few things, and it took a while because we were not prepared to walk out the door that quick. I mean, he was kind of prepared because he did have a small bag packed, but you don't know what to expect when you get there. And then we were trying to find our directions again and get all of our ducks in a row and then get everybody out the door because, of course, Sky wanted to come and Rainey was already coming, and we had to gather our things and get the animals situated and rush out the door. And so we got to the hospital, and he got into a room, and then it was just a lot of hurry up and wait. And we stayed there with him until they brought his dinner in, and then they were going to start running tests and take care of everything. So the surgery was supposed to be at 7 in the morning, and it got delayed. I had to come back home because I had to, number one, take care of the animals, and 2, I had everybody with me, and 3, I had to take his mom's dialysis bag to dialysis for her to have it on Friday. So, and plus, I'm going to be his caregiver, so I've got to take extra care of myself so I can take really good care of him. I'm going to have him at the hospital back over there an hour away twice a week for a while. So, and we have to be there at those appointments. I think are 7:30 in the morning appointments. So, anyway, I don't know where I was at. So we came home. I talked to him on the phone a few times. I talked to him. I was on the phone with him when they rolled him back, and it was a 3-hour surgery. So dropped off the bag at dialysis, and we all loaded up and went to the hospital. And of course, he was still in surgery when we got there, and they put us in his room where he would be coming back after dialysis, after the surgery, after that room where they put you, recovery. Sorry, I'm tired and I can't think hardly. But they put him in recovery, and then he was coming to this room, so they put us in that room to wait instead of the waiting room. And we were in there for hours and hours and hours, and we kept checking. Haven't heard anything. So later on in the afternoon, the surgeon comes in and says that the operation went well, and they were trying to get his oxygen levels stabilized before they let him come to his room. So we waited and we waited and we waited, and a couple more hours passed, and they came in and said, "We're actually not going to have him in this room today. He's going to be put into the intensive care unit." And so we went down a couple floors to that waiting room and registered there and waited to talk to the surgeon again. And he came to us and said that his oxygen levels were okay, but his blood pressure was dropping. and couldn't figure out why. They wanted to monitor that for a while. So they monitored that for a while, and then they said, no, something's going on, something's wrong. I had his medication list, thankfully, so I was able to get it out and let him look at it. And he said, you know what? He said, I think we're going to have to open him back up. So Wayne was going back in for a second surgery. So we went to another floor. We were on the 3rd floor. Then we went to the 5th floor. And then we went to the 11th floor. And we went to the 11th floor waiting room and started waiting there. And it was supposed to take like 45 minutes to open him up and then do what they had to do. And some more hours passed. And it got really dark. And it was weird. You could see helicopters coming and going. And the room just... the waiting room is cozy. They would have the lamps and little sofa areas and tables and bars and things. But it just felt lonely and sad and cozy all at the same time. I don't know. And my phone was dying. My phone kept dying. I need a portable charger because my phone's really old and my battery dies super fast. And after it's been charging this morning while I was on the treadmill, and I will take it after this video and put it back on charge, and it'll be dead in a couple hours. And I went and bought a cord yesterday thinking it was my cord. The cord charged my phone for hours in the waiting room, and then I used it to get home, the GPS, and it died the minute I walked in the door. This phone is just really old, but I'm not complaining about the phone. It's doing its job. But they went back in, and his kidney was bleeding every time his heart beat. Blood came out of the kidney. It squirted out of the kidney, and that's why his blood pressure was dropping. So we had to wait a while for him to be taken into the intensive care unit. He was actually on the operating table most of the day yesterday rather than in recovery. And so finally I got to see him. I got to go in there, and he, of course, didn't know I was there. He was out, and they said that he was going to be out the whole night. And they got his hands wrapped up like a mummy, and his legs have stockings, and had him propped up on a wedge on his side. And he didn't know I was there. You know, I touched him and I talked to him, and it was weird because other than the times that he's gone fishing at the beach, that was the longest that we've ever went without being in the same room with each other. And it was weird, and he did not know I was there. And then I got kicked out because they were going to do a chest x-ray, and they told us to go home because he wasn't going to know we were there at all anyway. So we got home late last night. I mean, we're not having supper until after 9 o'clock at night. And just, tired. And then I was too tired to sleep. I went to bed like at 10:30, and I was up at 1, and then I was up at 3, and I was using my phone at 3 o'clock this morning talking to Wayne's niece, and because she was at work. She works for a hospital, and I started to talk to Rainey, but I didn't want to wake her up in case she was asleep. I couldn't tell. I knew it said she had been active just like 45 minutes earlier, so I guess she couldn't sleep either. And I don't know about Sky. I ran into him in the hall, and he looked like a zombie, but it's just, it's super hard on Wayne because it's his body, but it's hard on us too because, we've been here with him from the very start of this thing, and we're seeing him through this part of it. And then when we get home, we have no idea what to expect. But I just hope and pray that anything that arises, we know how to handle. And maybe everything will be smooth anyway. So It's just, we're going to be traveling back and forth to Charlotte a lot, an hour away, twice a week. So, it's just, it's a little surreal. You start a normal Thursday, and within hours, it's like I said in a blog one time, how fast can life turn on a dime? And if it can turn on a dime for the bad, it can turn on a dime for the good. And my heart breaks for the person who lost their life on Thursday. And I don't want to cry, but somebody's grieving right now. Somebody is grieving. They are hurt, and their death has given him another shot at life. And I'm so grateful. I'm sorry. I'm really grateful to that person and their family for giving him another chance. This was a real big miracle because there were so many people ahead of him on the transplant list, and the ones who the kidney would fit were sick, and the rest the kidney was too small for, and it just worked out that it fit him. So I'm going to go because I'm getting really, emotional. So, and plus I got to get breakfast and load everybody up and head to the hospital. Everybody just send positive vibes, please, because we need them. And I've got to carve out a little bit of time to get some work done too, because we're going to need some money. Everybody have a good day, and just remember that if life can turn on a dime for the bad, it can also turn on a dime for the good. And don't take anything for granted. Don't take anyone for granted. Hug somebody today, okay? And tell them they matter. Okay, until next time. Is it peace?